Fortnite is slowly entering very shaky and uncertain territory, and a lot of people are worried that the Fortnite storyline might actually be doomed right now. And that kind of begs the question, is Fortnite about to fumble the lore once again, or is it about to level up like we've never seen before? Now, over the last couple of days, you guys, we've been following a little bit of a storyline. We first talked about Fortnite's biggest comeback ever, and how Fortnite is once again back on top of the gaming world, it seems like, with everybody talking about what is going on with Fortnite. We talked about how the end of Fortnite Chapter 6 is slowly approaching with a brand new live event, which we will talk about a little bit more here in a second. And yesterday, we talked about how Fortnite needs to keep this up in order for the next couple of months to be successful. In a nutshell, you guys, a few weeks ago, everyone said that Fortnite was cooked. Then Fortnitemares hit, hype returned, and now we've got two, and that's a new thing, two full-scale events on the calendar within the next 50 days. The big question is the story going to hold up, or is it going to fall apart right before Chapter 7 and kind of set a precedent for what Chapter 7's lore is going to be? Now, we've talked about how Fortnite had a big comeback in terms of Season 4's gameplay. We talked about the map having a huge glow up. We talked about the bugs being removed, as well as the packed Fortnitemares. But today, we're going to be judging the story and not the content. Also kind of predicting what exactly the future of Fortnite's story is looking like with a very uncertain Simpsons season coming soon. If the lore lands, you guys, along with the gameplay, momentum is going to carry into Chapter 7. If it whiffs and ends up being really bad or not have an explanation, that hype is going to snowball in a very negative direction. For those of you who don't know, we're getting a full narrative live event at the end of this month. Its codename right now is Lime Rock, which doesn't really give us much information, but we do know that either Tuesday or Thursday next week, we're getting a small update, the last update of Chapter 6 Season 4, and a ton of leaks are going to come out about this, possibly even the full event being leaked. But what we do know is that there's going to be a dedicated playlist, there's going to be a countdown on the map, the whole thing. This is the first proper story-driven full-scale live event since Chapter 3's Collision. Now we have a second full-scale event that I haven't talked about yet, and that codename is Sky Mango. Now, we've been hearing that codename a lot over the last few months, a lot of people not really knowing what it was for, but it looks like this is going to come out around the end of the mini-season. Unknown theme, but it's a real event, not just quests or something like that. It's an actual full-scale live event like the one we're about to get. So within a month, we're going to be getting two giant events. Now, of course, the Simpsons mini-season in between is also expected to have its own finale moment like I just talked about, just like OG and Remix did. So the pipeline is basically the event coming at the end of this season, the Simpsons mini season, another event, and then Chapter 7, just to lay that out. Now, the story premise for this event is a Spirit Realm siege. Jones, Hope, and the rest of the crew are prepping to breach the Spirit Realm to secure the 0-point shard. The loading screen right here is really the only tease we have for it. Shows them kind of planning the operation overall. Now, like I said at the beginning, a lot of people think right now that the storyline for Fortnite might be cooked in terms of the Simpsons season. You know, to be honest, you guys, Chapter 6 narrative kind of pacing, or the storyline pacing, has been rocky at best. You know, the bug invasion started off really cool and it made sense. Then the bugs kind of retreated off screen, and that arc just kind of deflated overall. A lot of people did expect a kind of mid-season turn like that, and me personally, I expected us to defeat the bugs before the season ended, before Fortnitemares, but I definitely didn't expect it to be so abrupt with really no build-up at all. Now, with talking about the Simpsons season lore and what that could entail, this is about to be our fourth mini-season. If we look back at when Fortnite has done mini-seasons like this before, besides for Galactic Battle, because that was in the mid-season, it's kind of different, we have Remix and the OG season. Now, the Remix lore was kind of fuzzy. Now, some people swear that the whole thing was a dream, which would explain artists kind of popping in and the concert finale and things like that. Everything kind of seemed out of place, but that kind of "it was all a dream" explanation doesn't really have much behind it. It's just kind of an explanation because there is no explanation, if you know what I mean. Now, when Fortnite kind of leans on vibes without a why, because there was definitely very hard vibes with Chapter 2, and I understand the big pull was just us going back to Chapter 2. The casual crowd absolutely loves it, but the lore crowd definitely checks out, and it's not as enjoyable. We need kind of more than just cool stuff happened, or, you know, we transitioned, or we time jumped, or something like that. We need cause and effect, and I think Chapter 6, for what it's worth, did a actually pretty good job of that. Now, the Simpsons factor is scaring a lot of people. It's just a month of kind of gags with no spine is what a lot of people are thinking. If it's just kind of pure like parody or just kind of a joke or something like that, without a bridge or an explanation to the Spirit Realm plot or a connection, it'll just kind of feel like something that was thrown in there for no reason and just kind of an advertisement, which, even though that may very well be what it is, they have to make it connect in some way. Now, we've also really seen Fortnite like nail a season when it comes to lore and storyline and then not keep the narrative standard the next month or the next season. That's why a lot of people are like, please do not drop the ball now. And I kind of mentioned that in my last video. If we just look at the last 2 seasons, I feel like season 3 with Super did a great job of getting people back into the storyline. And then now in season 4, they just really didn't seem to put in as much effort. You know, we had callbacks to the vault from chapter 1 and things like that. They just need to have more little things like that. And it really doesn't take much to get people interested. That helps us feel like we're building towards something big and that is worth paying attention to. I feel like season OG, when we went back to chapter 1 the first time, did actually do a pretty good job of the lore. There was an actual reason why everything was kind of jumbled together and why we were time skipping throughout the seasons and things were different. It was because the future had been messed up, or the past had been messed up because of Kato Thorne and things like that. With the time machine and everything, it actually did make a good amount of sense. So hopefully they put in some effort in that way, which could be a bit difficult because it's not just us returning to an old map. It's actually a completely different like reality. Looking back at those old mini seasons is really important, you guys, because it goes to show how seriously Fortnite actually takes the storyline when they time jump or when they take a bit of a risk with these collab seasons. Of course, they did a good job with it in Galactic Battle. There was actually a story there with Palpatine and the event and everything, but that's going to be easier for them to do because it's in the middle of the season and it's not going to make much sense for us to time jump somewhere else and then go back to where we were before like it didn't happen. I really hope that they don't treat these mini seasons continuously as just a break in the lore because that will be really uninteresting in my opinion. Now, with this brand new news that the Simpsons season at the end is also going to have a full-scale live event, a lot of people are saying that the Spirit Realm Siege at the end of this season, so the event that takes us into the mini season, is going to just be part 1. It's going to be our breach attempt before the Simpsons mini season. Then Sky Mango, which is part 2 after the Simpsons season, will be right after. Now, my theory is that in this part 1, if that is true that this is part 1 and part 2, and they did something like that with Remix, we had the prelude and then the finale, even though that was a concert, I could see them doing the same thing with a story-driven event. My theory is that in this part 1, we are going to fail the first time. We're going to breach, we're going to fight, we're going to go to grab the shard or something, and the Dark Presence is going to flip us on our heads and do something that we don't expect, and he's going to capture us or do something to us or just defeat us in general. And our punishment is that we're banished into some type of pocket reality or some type of, you know, banned universe or something like that, which will be the Simpsons season, the Springfield, wherever we end up going to. It would actually be pretty funny if they did it lore-wise to where the Simpsons season in Springfield is actually used as a place to like ban people to, or like eternal damnation or something like that. I think that would actually be pretty funny. But that would explain the complete like tonal like whiplash. If it's not random, it's kind of like captivity for the people of the island and for Hope and Jones. This would be the Dark Presence kind of messing with us, you know, keeping us out while it fortifies the Spirit Realm, takes over Oninoshima, or continues to build power using the 0-point shard while keeping it safe. Then Sky Mango, which is part 2 after the Simpsons season, will be the jailbreak. We find a way back in, the team regroups or something like that. Maybe people are kind of scattered all over the place, and that's when we finally extract the shard, setting up chapter 7's opening mystery, which is like, what did the 0-point made have rebuilt something or something like that, or the shard rebuild something, or it's just us continuing to find other shards, or the shard that we get leads us to the other ones, and then we're back to a fully built 0-point. I really don't know what happened after that point, but that's just my personal theory. Now, if Epic commits to that structure on screen and we have quests throughout the Simpsons season that still tie into like base Fortnite lore with cinematics plus active gameplay sequences inside the Spirit Realm in the event, the story will feel intentional. And I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I think people in the storyline community, let me know what you guys think about that theory, would absolutely love that. I really don't want them to just kind of blow off the Simpsons season month as a dream. Literally, all I need Fortnite to do is give me one line, like one voice line or a quest line that says, the Dark Presence condemned us to like this humor reality or this weird jumbled reality while it like fortifies its, its fortress or something like that, or it builds up something. Cool. That will be the exact reason right there. I'm perfectly fine with that. Bring the cast together with purpose, make it to where they kind of explain what's happening as it goes on. If we're fighting people, say like, oh, the Dark Presence is about to win. We have to lock in or do something like that like we've done before. Jones and Hope have voice lines confirmed. Great. Let them react when we fail. Let them explain to us what is going on. Let them make a plan during the Simpsons season month and let the team drive the plot instead of the vibes. I think that would make the storyline people completely happy as long as there is some type of obvious explanation for what happened. I think it'd be really cool if they end the first event on a true cliffhanger, like not confusing people or anything, and no one's really going to be confused because we already know what is going to happen, but it's kind of like them saying, we messed up, we've got one shot left, or we're going to have one more opportunity to go after him, or could this be the end, or something like that. That's the energy that is going to keep the storyline people logging in, playing the game, doing the quests, and keeping track of what is going on, and that will bring crazy momentum into chapter 7. Now, what exactly is going to happen if people are right? What if the story doesn't land, or it doesn't make sense, or they don't give us an explanation? A Simpsons season with really no personality or character when it comes to lore is going to feel like filler to the storyline fans, and the hype we just built is going to get stuck. It's going to be completely lost. People don't quit, they just stop caring, which is worse. If Fortnite does a really bad job with the Simpsons season, or it's something really dumb, like I remember Clint on his channel said something about like if Homer Simpson comes up and eats the 0 point because he thinks it's a donut hole or something. If they do something like that, that will ruin my faith in the storyline, and I will say the Fortnite storyline is dead if they do that. I will no longer talk about it. I will no longer get interested in it because I know that they just don't care. Chapter 7 will arrive with much less hype. Instead of kind of like a new chapter boom, it's kind of prove it to me energy, specifically for the storyline crowd. I know the casual players, if the Simpsons season gameplay is good, are gonna absolutely love it. If people play it and they like it, then there's gonna be momentum going into chapter 7. But for the storyline crowd, which I think is a lot bigger part of the community than a lot of people think, it's not gonna feel as good. But what if everything turns out great? What if the Simpsons season lands? Now, momentum is gonna stay hot from Fortnitemares into the event. The Simpsons season is gonna be fun. Hopefully the next event, which will be part 2, which will be even better, and then going into chapter 7. That is a fully 4-beat like a rhythm that can mirror the chapter 6 launch boom. Lore fans are going to be engaged, casuals are going to enjoy the collab month, and everyone kind of converges together and has a bunch of fun for Fortnite chapter 7. There's going to be higher daily actives and just so much hype around what is going on in the game from start to finish, from the gameplay to the explanations. Everything will be perfect. And literally all Fortnite has to do is just incorporate something that makes sense with the lore. We're really not asking for them to do anything like crazy right now. So overall, you guys, with these events and with the storyline, I genuinely just want explanations that make sense. And I know I've said that a million times now, but I want to know what you guys think down below in the comments. Personally, I am loving Fortnite right now. Fortnitemares is peak, but we are at a turning point, and I talked about that yesterday. The story is either going to cement this comeback and make it like, yes, chapter 7 is going to be peak and everyone is going to love it, or it is going to trip and fall flat on its face. If you'd like to watch a little bit more about why I think Fortnite cannot mess this up right now and why they're at a very critical point in terms of chapter 7 in the Simpsons season, click in the top right of your screen here. If you guys enjoyed today's video, drop a like. You watched all the way to the end. You must have enjoyed, so drop a like. Subscribe to the channel. I make videos like these every single day. Use code PROZEROYT in the Fortnite item shop, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.